So as bad as the depression might have been, in this case, it was an extra motivational factor on top of my innate desire for spiritual growth, which I've always strongly had. I approached this man in silence to learn more, to see what was behind his silence, what was behind the very focused stare of his clear blue eyes. And I was blessed, and I am grateful that he broke his silence in order to help me. And we had much more than a conversation. We sat together in the cafeteria. We went outside under the same type of tree that Buddha sat on. It's a variety of fig tree that you find in India. It grows huge. It can be hundreds of years old. We sat down under one of those and we talked for quite some time about his journey. He had been in very similar straits as I did, also had a lot of mental difficulties growing up. He sought for answers. He was a bit ahead of me on the path. He had come to India several years before and got an initiation from the guru of the very ashram we were in eating luncheon at that time. And that initiation had opened up a lot of things for him, things that I was very curious to learn about, experiences and abilities that I had maybe heard alluded to in some religious text, but hadn't met anyone who actually had that in their personal experience. And I was here talking with somebody face to face that was able to see things with their third eye, for example, and have been having all kinds of experiences. What he did next, and the process that we went through next, changed my life and directly led to me feeling that I could leave medication, giving me the determination from a couple of standpoints to leave medication permanently and forever, which is what I did after this event that happened next. As we got up from that tree, he offered to do something for me, a type of energy transfer, as he said. And for this, we needed a private, quiet place, and we went back to where he was staying, which was a very simple room, unheated, unair-conditioned, concrete floor room around the back of this ashram. And we both sat down there, and all he did was look into my eyes for 5 minutes. And that interaction changed the course of how I dealt with depression, and it changed the course of what I did for the next few years. It changed the course of my life and led me to being here in front of you right now. Now, what happened immediately after that was absolutely nothing. He asked if I had felt anything or experienced anything, and I said I hadn't. He said, okay, maybe you're not ready, or you weren't able to take it in. And I said okay, and I basically went back. I went back across the Ganga River, back to where I was staying. Went to bed that night. But what happened the next morning is what would change my life. And I woke up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning, and it was completely dark outside. And I hadn't been waking up that early. I'd been waking up at 8, so this was much earlier. I'd been waking up when there was light outside, not when it was dark outside like this. And I felt something I hadn't felt before, which was a guiding force, a very powerful guiding force, something very alive inside of me, something kicking and screaming, and something which propelled and orchestrated very intricate and intense movements throughout my body from head to toe, very intricate movements. I had little muscles moving around my face, little muscles I didn't know how to control. I didn't know they even existed before. They were moving in a synchronic fashion, in a very coordinated fashion with the other muscles around there, other muscles in my body. And this force was intelligent as it was strong and as it was determined. And I made very, very sharp, very intricate movements, even pulling muscles in my shoulder and my neck. And then I could feel it deliberately trying to work out those pulls, pulling in some reverse directions and trying to make that feel better, even though it was pulled. And these movements continued for 2 hours until it was light outside. And I didn't know what had happened. I was imagining that Eric, this yogi, was sitting there on the other side of the Ganga, and he was seeing what was going on with his third eye. He was pulling some strings, making all those muscles go, which I don't even know how it'd be possible with so many muscles going, but I imagine that he was aware of this process and he was orchestrating it. I imagine I was a puppet. There was some puppeteer behind the strings. Now, when I came back around to the other side of the Ganga, because he had said, all right, come see me in the morning, and I had just been like, oh, I'm on the other side. I've been waking up that early. Maybe you're 1 p.m., morning might be too early, but it was a whole different story after this happened. I want to see him as soon as possible. I wanted to know what was going on, what had happened. And when I got to him on the other side, and we were taking a walk by the Ganga on his side, and I asked him, well, what happened this morning? He asked me what happened this morning. He didn't know what happened this morning. And what he said is that he was a devotee of Shiva, and he prayed to Shiva for many years. That's who he was connected to. And when he did that energy transfer, Shiva came through and it orchestrated these movements. So that experience was transformative for me because I directly experienced that there are realms outside of the physical world that we encounter in the world of pure cause and effect. And there may still be cause and effect, but whatever intelligent force was pulling those strings behind the puppet of my body, that force was something that I could not see and I had not met before. And that force probably doesn't have a physical mailing address. I probably can't, go to, a town in New York and find a house where that force is. It's something that is, you could say, transcending the reality that we see in front of us.